Get the victory against Newberry here today. Final score 57-55 with JT Burton. And before we go any further, I missed it. And I had it and I wrote it down and I was going to say, and then Roger came and did the postgame. Career win 300 for Roger Hodge today. Wow. Career win 250 for James Tyler, who gets the victory. And you had to earn it. This isn't sweat, but it should be probably.
Yeah, well, it felt like it, but no, they drenched me with water. They wanted to do a Gatorade, but I had to stop them. But I love this shirt. I had it for years. But
it don't come out.
Yeah, it don't come out. So, no, 250 wins, man. I've been doing this for a long time. Brian never really thought about it because – when I first started, this is something I knew I always wanted to do, and it got me out of the situation I was in as far as when I was young. And it goes back to all my former players because I've had some really good players.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've loved about this 250 journey is seeing the guys that you develop and then seeing them 5 and 10 years afterwards.
Right.
When they call you back and tell you or send you a text message, and when you have them, you think there's no way, man, this kid. But I always say, just because I can't coach you, don't mean I can't be your friend. And there's a couple of them, but they still reach out to me. So that 250 goes out to them.
That's awesome. And this wasn't easy today. In a second half where field goals were hard to come by, a physical game, that's been our concern. The physicality, and we knew Newberry was going to bring it. You got Brian Good Saturday with Wingate. It's always going to be physical. Well, Marcus sat there on that bench for, 10, 15 years, whatever it was, getting his opportunity. He brings that same – I thought I was watching Wingate out there on the floor.
That team is old. That's another old team. What I mean by old is you got a couple fifth-year guys, seniors, very senior-laden team. And I think we grew up. We've grown up, you could tell. That was an ugly, hard-fought battle. And the one thing we try to tell them is we don't shoot 15 threes or less. And I think, what was it, the first half we shot 14 maybe?
Yeah, 14.
And we ended up shooting 18 for the game. So that means we started driving the ball. And once we did that, we kind of settled in. But that team right there is physical. They rebound the ball at a high rate. And they had 13 offensive rebounds. And for us to, try to keep them off the board, especially late, was big. And that team right there, man, coaches, he does a really good job with them.
I think they average around 18 offensive boards a game. I do believe. Yeah, and when you threw out there and Akeem wasn't out there initially, I thought, all right, well, we're saving him because he's going to be in foul trouble, and because he's our physical presence.
Yes.
But I felt like Josiah answered that bell early in the game, and he was able to secure some rebounds, especially early.
With Josiah, we always say he's struggling with his shot right now, and we always ask him, how can you impact the game when you're not scoring? And when we got in foul trouble before he picked up his second foul, he did a really good job of weak side rebounding on the defensive end, because we tell everybody you got to crash, especially on the defensive boards, because they're going to crash offense boards unbelievably hard.
Yeah.
So Joe did a really good job. Now, I thought they got towards the end of the first half, when all those guys got in foul trouble, which was Jackson and Otasipi, and then Joe Morris did, they got 4 offensive rebounds right there. So when in halftime, they had 6. So I knew it was going to be a battle. I thought we did a really good job, especially the second half. And you go look at Akeem. Akeem had 9 rebounds. So when he's rebounding like that, that changes, everything. I mean, he played 19 minutes with 9 rebounds. So that helped, especially 8 on the offense. Defensive rebound.
Yeah, I mean, he kept them off. That's what I mean. His presence kept them off the glass. And I'll go ahead and we'll follow up with Akeem, because he makes really one of the defensive plays of the game. Comes up with what appeared to be a shoe-in layup for which would have been a tie at the moment, and he gets the rejection to preserve the lead.
And that's again, we talked to him about how can you impact the game when you're not scoring, and I thought Akeem did a really good job of that, being poised, understanding the game, not turning the ball over, and understanding the defense assignment. And because everybody's been doing a really good job of driving and kicking, but he done a really good job of staying vertical, not getting attached to his body, and connecting the ball. I don't think it was a goaltending because he got it. He got it as it was going up right, perfect time, and that was a huge play in the game.
We'll get back, but the final 2 minutes, you don't allow Newberry to score. They missed their last 5 shots, and the zone looked really good today.
Yeah, they're getting it.
Yeah.
They're understanding X1 and X2, so which is the guard, 1 and 2. They have the hardest job because they got to understand, they got to work from top down they can't see what's going on behind them.
Right.
So you got to have the mic man, which is Akeem or whoever's playing X5, and Malachi, they got to talk like incredibly. So those guys have gotten unbelievably better at communicating and talking. And once they get it, because they begin to see a lot of different coverages and a lot of different things, they're like, oh, okay, it all turns into the same thing, coach.
Right.
And so to have two freshmen, those three or four guys, and the Kimber twins and Jason Britton and Ryan Neal, to be able to understand that and grasp it so fast, it's really good. It's a testament to my assistants.
You know, in this contest where field goals were hard to come by and the hand check was not even a part of the game anymore, because of the physicality, both sides of it, Bryce didn't have his typical shooting game. You set the screens, but they were so physical, could fight through those screens, and he couldn't find a shot. But he drove to the bucket and gave you the two best moments, I think, late in the contest.
We preached to Bryce. Bryce is kind of, he's listening, and he's very coachable. Bryce is one of those generational kids, meaning, you know, he doesn't come with the stars and everything. What I mean by generational, he's good, a great student. He was a valedictorian of his high school. He works at it, and he's listening. So he's starting to do the extra work that we've asked him to do. He's a little fatigued now. And so we was like, hey, he's missing the jump shots. It's not bad shots. He's just missing them.
Shots, yeah.
So what he started doing late is driving the ball and playing off 2 feet. And once he understood that, he was like, Coach, I got you. Playing off 2 feet, playing off 2 feet. And he done it because it takes an extra dribble. Everybody wants to watch, the NBA where they do all that dribble, step. I hate that stuff. So Bryce, and along with everybody else, they begin to, the young guys begin to listen. And Bryce did a really good job, especially that left-hand layup.
Yeah.
If he'd have done that one-legged runner, like, they too physical, they're going to bump you off, and the ref ain't calling. He went off 2 feet, watched it all the way through, and did a really good job of finishing.
A tough shooting game for Taj, and
Yes.
I think he's going to have this is almost good for him,
Yes.
to kind of fight through that type of physicality. And he still created really good shots. It's just it had to be rushed a little bit faster than he wanted to go.
It's like his jump shot is flat. And I think it comes with fatigue, but he's got to continue to look for it because that's his shot.
Oh, yeah.
They freshmen. And it's going to happen. I mean, Taj does a really good job on the defensive end as well. So he had, 2-3 steals.
Yeah.
So that's what you want. I mean, he got a good steal down here when it was going back and forth, and he done a really good job of getting a stop. So, that's going to come along with it. But those twins, man, they, Denaj a little down because he missed free throws. That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of the game. Malachi, who, is a great free throw shooter, missed them. Those guys got to learn to move on. But Taj, and he did a really good job especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, we didn't close out the game you wanted to by knocking those down. But, again, we knocked down what we needed to defensively there at the end. An upstart Mars Hill team that's been young, and now they're a little bit more veteran, will come in here Saturday. It's going to be another battle. Maybe you get some time off. You're going to give these guys a little break? Yeah,
we was going to practice tomorrow, but it always feels good to come off with a victory because you win an ugly game. And when you're young like this and you're going to win an ugly game, that means that 0-5 start has helped us, going on the road. Because I don't think we win this 3 weeks ago, we was home, because we really didn't understand, you know what I mean? So we did a really good job of executing, but tomorrow, these guys, they got to go home. I'm a big believer in refreshing, recharging your batteries, all of us, because we've been going nonstop, on the road, driving vans. So, they get off until Friday.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm giving off to Friday.
And wins 250. It's just like, you know what? Y'all just go.
In front of my mother. I didn't know my mama was coming.
Yeah.
Like, I looked up, they walked in. Uncle Bobby, he's back. And I missed him, man. I love my family. So I get to go home, with them today. And, I got my wife. I hope she's listening. We did it, we get to cook up some good meals, and my girls get to hang out with the family. But Brian, when my mother shows up, man, I almost started crying. And I was like, God, I hope we don't lose in front of her. So it was big, man.
She says, congratulations, James Tyler. That's exactly what comes out of her mouth.
She says, hello, Jesus. That's what she says all the time.
At 250. That's exactly right. Good stuff.
You, man. Appreciate you.
Here's JT. Pioneers victorious here today. Defeat Newberry. Final thoughts when we come back. Tusculum 57, Newberry 55. This is Pioneer Basketball. Driven by Gateway Ford Nissan from the Pioneer Sports Network.